Joining us this morning to talk about this video, we have Singson, a senior trustee, National Communications and Media Head, Spokesperson, and Voters Education Head of PPCRV. Magandang umaga sa'yo.
Good morning. Good morning.
Okay, as of 8 a.m. this morning, your video, Baha for Breakfast, has gotten about 42,000 shares on Facebook, about 3.5 million views. What inspired the PPCRV to come up with this?
Before anything else, I would like to attribute the creative genius behind Baha, the ad, to our ad agency, TBWASMP. It is their creative conceptualization that brought this about. Actually, this is inspired by, well, the trust of PPCRV. Our trust is good governance. Our trust is always one good vote. But sometimes people have a very difficult time connecting their vote with the effects in their lives. They think, I can vote anybody. It doesn't matter. It won't affect me individually. I think Baha is so symbolic of how directly one's choice of one's leaders can affect your daily life. Look at this. Baha is so normal, not just here in Marikina, in parts of San Juan. In so many places, they think, totoo na yung Baha. We've learned to live with it. But do we need to learn to live with that? We can vote in good leaders. We can vote in good governance. I mean, there is a culture of impunity going on around now, but do we have a part in the impunity by allowing it also? So this is sort of like a wake-up call, a challenge. How much of this are you going to accept? How much complacency will we allow before we say, no, this is not right? There are many good people out there. Let's choose them. Let's vote wisely. So that's
Perfect timing for a video with a strong message, no? But usually we do hear from PPCRV during pag elections, no? But this one came after the midterms. Do you plan to come up with more videos like these during the off season? And also, how long did it take you to come up with this ad?
We're actually in development with other agencies also, aside from TBWASMP, who created Baha. So yes, there are other campaigns coming out. You know, we've realized that, the elections, and that's what people should realize also, elections are not a one-time thing. They affect our lives, not just on May 12th, as it happened this year, but they affect our lives for the next 6 years, depending on who our leaders are. And this is a perfect example. Actually, this was launched we launched this in December last year, cooperation with TBWASMP. And in our social media, the tagline was, May ikagaganda ka pa, Pilipinas, sa Mayo 2025. Meaning, we can create a more beautiful Philippines, which doesn't have to accept horrible conditions like this if we only vote wisely. But we decided with TBWA and SNP that we would boost this because it's very relevant now with everything going on now. So yes, we will be continuing with other campaigns, also with other ad agencies whom we're discussing with right now, because citizenry and civil involvement doesn't happen just once during elections. Because it really affects our lives. And these days, I'm normally a little more circumspect in what I say, but in this case, it's criminal. People are dying. Can we allow?
You mean to say December pa itong ad na to, the one that we're watching now? So viral lang siya ulit.
Yes, but we started reboosting. It was the idea of TBWASMP to start reboosting. So we've been boosting, especially since it's very, very relevant now. And it was really our hope and our plan that PPCRV is not just an events-driven organization that comes out only during elections, but even throughout, demanding accountability and especially voters' education. What became so apparent with the issue now, and it comes out with their ad also, voters' education is so much needed because there is a breakdown of values. There's a horrible breakdown of values, and the moral compass is so skewed. So we have said that, we will continue voters' education on values development even when there is no longer any elections, and this is part of the bid for that.
Ang galing nga ho, no? Kasi, tama kayo, no? Yung laging lumalabas yung tanong na, will we keep voting the way we've been voting for people in power who have somehow been complicit to the problems. Pero ayun nga, no, this ad reminds me of a soft drink commercial. Medyo parang same yung hues eh. Were they the same producers of that? And we do know that it does cost money to come up with those ads. So paano po kayo on that end?
PPCRV always works with partnerships because on our own, we're just nagmamalimos all the time for fun. Because we're huge. We're 450,000 nationwide at 1.3 million, but we're always nagmamalimos. In this case, as I said, TBWA, SMP, they shouldered everything. So
wow.
I would like to give credit and so much appreciation to our friends and partners in TBWA. They thought about this. They funded it. This even came out in cinemas when it was launched in December and January, and they helped get those spots. Our role naman, because we're nationwide, caravan style, we go house to house. We're in all the parochial schools. We have played this nationwide in parochial schools and also through private organizations nationwide. And you're become prevalent, and it's even won several awards, very prestigious awards for its creativity and content, both here and internationally.
Ay, sakto po yung topic na pinili po ninyo. Yung po talaga yung maingay sa ngayon, ano?
There was a survey that said that 53% of the Filipinos sell their vote. That's more than half of the Filipinos. And I'm not anyone to say anything because sometimes there's such immediacy of need that you grab at whatever you can. And there are needs and immediate finances required. But what's happening right now and what we're trying to show in Baha shows you how directly your vote affects your life. It's no longer a faraway concept that, I'm an individual, how will it affect me? Baha shows you exactly how close it is, and in fact, how close it is to you, and how your choices can make or break the next 6 years of our lives. So citizenry is not just during elections. Citizenry requires some accountability even during the non-election period.
The PPCRV's more active presence is certainly welcome. But speaking of vote, you were part of the parallel count during the midterm elections. What were the findings from your group?
Well, the parallel count, we were involved in 2 counts. The first count is called the parallel count, which checks if what was transmitted, the transmitted vote is equivalent to the vote that came out of the counting machine, of the automated counting machine. In that regard, the counting machine was very accurate. It was 99.6% accurate. So very, very, very accurate. However, we noted that there were things that could have been improved. Like we noted that for the first time, we got so many calls because we have a call center. So many times for the first time, so many people are calling us saying, why did our votes come out as overvote? We did not overvote. We voted like less than 12 senators. Bakit overvote? So we did some investigations and we found out that the ink used in the ballot did not dry immediately. Because it did not dry immediately when it was entered in the automated counting machine, the rollers picked up some of that ink, which deposited themselves into the subsequent ballots which were being fed in. And that most probably accounts for it. We cannot really quantify it, but what we checked is what was the percentage of overvote? Because of course we got alarmed. Did it affect the vote? So we checked the percentage of overvote to see if it was something that would have changed the results. And the percentage of overvote at around 1.5% was roughly equivalent naman to the overvote in the past elections. So there. Still, that's something we should look out for in the next elections, that make sure that the materials used are good materials so that this does not happen again. And so voters don't question what happened to their vote. We were also involved in the random manual audit. We were the key civil society organization observing the COMELEC teachers do their count. This one naman, they check if the vote counting machines counted properly. So they do a manual check and then they compare it to the vote of the computers, of the automated counting machines. And the matching rate is also very, very high. So it looks like there was accuracy in the counting of the machine and accuracy also in the transmission. But as far as the transmission is concerned, there are improvements to be made in terms of the quality of the paper, the quality of the ink. But otherwise, very high matching rates naman.
And so overall, this was a better elections compared to the past. Is that your assessment?
Well, it's the highest, it was the highest match rate we've had so far. And on top of that, fastest in transmission. Very fast. Like we got results less than 3 days after, less than 36 hours after. We already knew who the winners were. So that is super, super fast. Compared to the first, compared to the very first in automated election, that was so slow. We were there for 2 weeks and it took long, and we only saw 93% of the vote. Here we were able to see over 99% of the vote. So transmission was very quick. Matching rate was the highest also. And as it was in the last election, there was no failure of elections anywhere. So we can say that it was pretty peaceful as well.
Do you also conduct surveys on how Filipinos casted their vote? I mean, ano yung pinagbabasehan nila when it comes to actually choosing for the candidates? Lalo na with the changing dynamics. I mean, if you go around every neighborhood, people are watching out for the hearings, turning it into somehow their teleserye. Meron ba kayong ganung pag-aaral?
Well, we had the latest study, and to your point of what people are looking for in their candidates, we had to develop our voters education campaign before the 2025 election. So we said, let's go back to values, because all of this is really, the root cause is really the absence of values, the corruption, everything is really absence of values. So we said, let's go back to values. So we did a nationwide survey and we asked people, if you could envision a model Filipino citizen, what are the top 5 values that you think that model citizen would have? And very interesting, the results. The first was makajos. Of course, we're very Catholic. And whatever your religion is, we're very devout. Makajos. The second, very tellingly, was makapat. The third was magalang, masipag, matulungin. And a sixth came out, makabayan. Then we added another one about being discerning, about being mapanuri, especially in terms of social media, when you don't know anymore if something is true or not, if it's fake or not. So we gave out primers also on how to determine that. So those are actually the top characteristics that voters are looking for if they're looking for a model Filipino.
So these are the values also that you will be centering on in your future campaigns. What are you hoping to make? Which videos? Meron na po ba kayong mga ideya?
We have books. Can I just show you? This is what I was saying, mapanuri ako, and then we have here, matapat ako. We have all the values I mentioned. We have one book for all of them, except for Makajos. How can you make a book on God? So he's in every single book of ours. So this has been distributed nationwide. We also have a tie-up with DepEd who cannot change the curriculum. It will take an act of Congress, we were told, but they very kindly put it on their website so that teachers could download it for their curriculum. Of course, we go parish by parish, and we've been really teaching this. So, seeing all of this, it just firms up our resolve. It firms up our determination to continue the values education program. It's hard. It needs a lot of resources, but there are so many people willing to help. So we'll be going out there teaching house to house, parish to parish, podium to podium. We have to do that because once values go and once moral compass go, what kind of society do we have? A society that breeds, lack of respect, lack of honesty, everything that we talk about that the model Filipino should have.
Kamusta naman ho yung reception sa inyo? I mean, syempre, we do know that political talk is very sensitive here in the Philippines, especially with how partisan and polarized things are. Pagdating sa mga values, how do you talk about it and how's the reception? What is the effective method to talk about voters' education nowadays?
Let me be very clear. PPCRV guards everybody's votes. I tell everybody, to be simple, when we're briefing our new recruits, we are Switzerland. Wala tayong pinagkikilingan. So PPCRV is, as I said, we're Switzerland. We never name names. We will call out issues. We will call out issues like this, and you see us calling that out in our ad. But we will never name names, and we'll say you should vote for this, you should vote or that. We are apolitical in that sense because we vote without fear or favor. Whatever your color is, whatever your campaign color is, we will guard your vote with the same intensity. But with equal intensity as well, we will subscribe to our objective. And our objective is to have one good, clean vote. A vote that is conscience-driven, that is values-based. And because values, as I said, I believe that values, or the lack of it now, are at the core of it. We're really putting a focus on that. And we've been teaching it in schools, and the reception has been very, very good. Like before the elections, I was flying all over the country. Our team, we have a team. We have a team of trainers. We fly around the country. We've trained students. We've trained even those who are in jail. We've trained everyone that we can possibly train in all the venues that we could possibly enter. And the reception, Baha was shown there, they get standing ovation sometimes, and people clap for them a lot. People realize that we're not training them towards a certain ideology. We're training them towards values formation and values development. And then make your own decision based on your values. But please, they should be...
I like this emphasis on values. We seem to have already gotten callous with corruption that's been going around. Parang na-normalize na nga po, no? Kaya maganda pong pag-usapan muli. I mean, if you take a look at other countries and their reaction to corruption, it has stirred some violence. Hopefully not here in our country, but there have been calls for protests with big rallies coming up this September 21 and so on and so forth. Does it mean to say that PPCRV won't be in those rallies? I mean, kasi you choose to be nonpartisan. And sa ngayon, ano nakikita ninyo na epektibong protests? What are your thoughts when it comes to that end? And the way Filipinos, I guess, do their own form of standing up to these ills?
Well, it's very sad what we're observing in Nepal and Indonesia, where, you see people being burned inside their homes. What I'd like to say is that's not the Filipino way, which is why we're saying values are important. And one of the big values we talk about is respect. Respect for others. Make it a respectful conversation. Make it a respectful conversation. Don't devolve into the lack of values that you are rallying against yourselves. Keep the respect all the time and stay within the Catholic doctrine, because PPCRB, after all, is a child of the church. It was born out of, it came out of the thinking of His Eminence Cardinal Sin way back, before year 2000 pa. Keep respect always. Citizens will always find their ways of expression, be it in social media, be it through rallying, but please, always with respect. Because in the end, it devolves to values or lack of it. And let's not let the perpetrators of the lack of values cause us to lose our own as well. So please, with respect always, with dialogue always, and with Christian and Catholic values and empathy always.
And do you think there is a momentum here that we can build on with medyo parang nagagalit na yung mga Pilipino din online against corruption specifically? What do you think about that? The timing and what should be done at this? I mean, you reboosted your video.
We reboosted our video precisely because complacency. How long can we be complacent? I mean, it's people are talking to me, they're saying, we work hard, we work 9 to 5, we show up way past 9 to 5. Some people I know, they're working way till midnight. They're honest taxpayers, and they say, our tax is going to this. It's infuriating. And I think Filipinos should remember sometimes, we're very easygoing. We forgive a lot. But there are times we have to take a stand and say, how much can we forgive? How much can we say? How much is okay? Until when can we say it's all right? But always, always in a respectful manner. As I say, find your manner of expression, but express it in a way where you don't lose the very values that you are trying to reinstitute into the system. We can't, violence, I don't think that's an option for the Filipinos. It's not us.
But for PPCRV, should we expect this bolder tone moving forward? And how do volunteers join your group? What is up next?
You can volunteer. You can write us on ppcrv.org or just go to your parish center. In 95% of the parishes nationwide, there is a PPCRV. As for the bolder tone, I'd like to think naman we were always bold in calling out what is right and what is wrong. It's just that we're very lucky. We have the resources. We're very lucky. We have a partner with the creative thinking like TBWA. There are others. We've also been helped by others. Our TikTok campaign by APC, and there's another campaign that we're putting out now. It's just that again, we'd like to think. We'd like to be our conscience. We'd like you to remember that your one vote is so powerful. Because the thinking is, isang boto lang naman ako. Ano bang magagawa kong kaibahan? But if you band together, and this is what I was telling all the students when I would travel nationwide before the campaign, you are 35% of the vote. You are 1/3 of the vote. Your vote put together can change the entire landscape. So vote is a good vote. Every vote is a powerful vote. And as you can see now, it does affect you very directly. So use that one good vote and use the values to go back to model Filipino citizenry.
Well, let's continue making these values go viral and calling out corruption, of course. Congratulations on a wonderful ad, a little bit of moment marketing there from PPCRV. Good timing and good message. Thank you so much for being with us and explaining the latest from the Parish Pastoral Council for Responsible Voting. We have Anna Singson, Senior Trustee and National Communications and Media Head, Spokesperson and Voters Education Head. A lot of hats for PPCRV. Maraming salamat.